Hey, fuckers.
I just made that shit up.
The beginning sounded like that song, On the Road Again.
No, it
On
wasn't
the
that.
Road Again.
It was a song called Out of Gasoline.
From the Shoes demos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good song.
I
Shame we
heard it.
never recorded it.
There's a lot of stuff you guys should have recorded.
Yeah, I know.
I
We didn't.
I still got to find that Funny Money
Did
demo.
you hear that?
Stoned Age. You say you don't even remember
No,
it.
I don't even remember the song.
Dean remembers it.
I think it was a Ned Maloney idea.
Was it?
He brought in the music, and I put the words and the melodies to it. I think that's been so long ago, 1995. Phew.
Damn,
That's 30 years ago. Jesus Christ, time flies.
I know it, right? Wow. Did you do anything over the weekend?
I
Noteworthy?
watched it rain.
Fucking rain.
Watched the grass grow in the rain. How was your weekend?
I was out mowing in the rain.
I know you were. You were here yesterday mowing in the rain. It's fucking rains every fucking day. I hate fucking rain. Now we get a nice day, and I got to do this.
I just heard there might be a thunderstorm later tonight.
Good. We need more rain.
Jesus. Nothing else. You went to Cafe Roma last night. How was
Yeah,
that?
we went to. Kelly finally got me out of the house, and talked to the owner. The owner's a really nice guy. I called him Luigi on the podcast.
You did?
And he laughs about it. He said, now everybody calls me Luigi.
Can't remember his real name.
It's Luis or something like that.
It's close.
Yeah, I knew I was close, but most Italian guys are named Luigi.
Is that racist or no?
No, I don't know. I'm not a racist, but that's what I called him, and he laughs about it now. And his whole staff calls him Luigi. So I started something, and I told him, I talk about your restaurant almost every week on the podcast because we really love it, and we're rooting for you to be really successful. He said the crowds have gotten better. They've definitely gotten better. Yep.
Yeah, I've had Italian all over the country. I'm sure you have too.
Yep.
But their spaghetti bolognese is up in the top.
Yep.
It's so good.
I know Jimmy Chavant makes a good spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, that's what you guys
Bolognese,
told me.
however you say it.
I don't know.
I don't either. I just eat it. But the food was great. They have this meat lasagna that's made with veal and beef and all. But it's so good. It's so fucking great. I love their stuff, and the atmosphere is nice. They're very friendly. I think the location is the hardest thing people have to get to because you gotta from here where I'm at, you got to go up 81.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get on 81 because there's always wrecks.
Right.
But it's picking up, and that's just good news. So Luigi, we love you. We hope you're doing good, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
That's right. Yeah.
Every time I go there, he always says, "See you tomorrow." Well, maybe not.
Gee, they have that reputation of almost being a fast food place because Tony's was there for so
Right, it was
long.
a pizza joint.
And they think, it's just another Italian joint just like Tony's, but it's not. It's not fine dining, but it's certainly not fast food.
No, it's a full-blown Italian restaurant.
Yeah, and good prices.
Yeah, the prices are very reasonable. People that go to right out of my head, the chain Italian restaurants.
Oh, Olive Garden.
Olive Gardens. Because they give you salads and they give you bread. That just fills you up before you get your dinner, and you can't finish your dinner, so that's just stupid.
Tracy and I was at Cafe Roma a couple of weeks ago, and we get the bread and then a plate of oil and cover it with pepper and Parmesan cheese. They hooked us up.
Yeah.
So we've exposed ourselves to social media all over the place.
I haven't. He has.
And just like anything else, you open yourself up to what everyone calls haters.
Yeah. Or assholes.
And we have our share. It's not much. I'd say 1 out of 100 comments are just dumb comments. but one hit me last night. It hit me hard. I don't think anybody else would think twice about it, but I was on YouTube, and our Sunday's video, episode 20, we dropped. I got a notification. Somebody posted or commented on your video. I looked, and it said, "With all due respect, please, less of Rick." And that hurt so much.
You want me to leave?
Yeah, you shut up the rest.
Yeah.
This is the Rick show from here
All
on
right.
out.
I'll just look at my phone the whole thing.
I was like, you went out of your way to say that.
How many times have I told you, do not look at the comments?
Yeah.
Do not relate to the comments. Do not believe the comments, because these are people sitting in their mom's bedroom watching cartoons and have no life. So you're relating to a moron.
Yeah.
So don't. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
But you're going to do it anyway. You don't listen to me.
Well, I like to interact with the positive comments that everyone leaves, which is overwhelming.
Just get a stock thank you. Can you do that every time you get a good thank you?
Look, AI can take care of that.
There you
for
go.
us. There we go.
Then you don't have to deal with it.
That's right. So I'll tell you what, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, this St. Croix vacation spot with Dave and Lisa Hall. I talked to him today about the place, and we were given an opportunity for us to go down there this year.
All right.
Spend a week in basically a mansion, its own private pool.
Kind of like this.
Yeah. Don't start thinking that way. You won't want to go. What the hell am I going there for? I have that at home. So I'm sorry.
Rick's been too busy. Rick's been out mowing lawns and doing all kinds of shit for days on end. So we're going to admit that we're not properly prepared for this podcast today. So
yeah,
it's going to be a slow one, and it might be a shorter one. But he's just been too busy to prepare for the show, and I don't do shit.
All right, so just to talk about this St. Croix, Genesis Properties down in St. Croix, Dave sent me a real long, I told him we're going to have to do an infomercial with all that information you sent me. So I put it into AI, and AI condensed it down real quick. So we're going to hit the high points of this vacation place. It's amazing, and we're seriously, my wife and I and Steve and his wife are really going to book something this year. We just got to do it before December, and we're going to go down and check it out. So Genesis Properties, St. Croix, it's a real estate brokerage and vacation rental management company run by Dave and Lisa Hall. Now get this. This is on the island, St. Croix, in the Virgin Islands. You can get a condo from $100 a night.
What?
In this, it's crazy. From $100 a night, one-bedroom condos, up to $1,200 a night, luxury, gated beach community. Yeah. So, and you can book directly through Genesis Properties instead of Airbnb or VRBO, because they charge you all these fees, like Ticketmaster. So we're going to put the website below, but it's basically Genesis Properties St. Croix.hospitable.rentals. And if you go there, it shows you everything they have available, what the cost is, which is unbelievable. The coolest thing is you don't need a passport to go there because it's U.S. territory.
Can you smoke pot there?
I'm going to check with Dave.
That's a very important question.
Sure.
Because I'm flying with pot.
It says the best time to visit is between Thanksgiving and April. And it maintains pretty much an 82-degree heat during the day. The airport into St. Croix, it's STX is the airport code. He said round trip per person is like $300. So $300 for the airfare and $100 a night. You spend more than that in Ocean City.
Oh, hell yes.
Way more than that. And Delta, JetBlue, and Spirit all fly there. No passport needed. They offer full-service hospitality, pre-arrival grocery shopping. You send them a list of what you want. It'll be in your condo, your house when you get there.
Rolling Rock. That's all I need.
Personal guest coordinator, Just show up and relax, they say. And the area, it has 2 different climates. The west side is like the desert.
Dry heat.
Yes, and the right side is like a rainforest.
That's weird.
That is weird. And this island is where they brew, what's the rum? What's the, not Captain Morgan's.
I don't do rum. I don't know.
It's a real well-known rum. They distill that right on the island there.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. What's that? Is that name of a rum? No, that's not the one I was thinking of. But yeah, Genesis Properties, St. Croix. Check it out. We will tag it in this post for their Facebook and their website. Dave and Lisa Hall, best people in the world to deal with. Dave is a Hagerstown native.
Oh, really?
He used to own the Peach Pub downtown.
Okay.
Yeah. And great guy, and they just packed up and moved to this island.
Say, how the hell to go from Hagerstown to own something like that? He's a grinder.
He's been in the real estate,
Okay.
and he just found this island and was like, they need my services. He went down.
Wow. He had a calling.
Now he's living his best life.
That's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I normally have all this stuff written down.
You brought up Ocean City. Mark Shanker texted me this morning. He said, loving the podcast.
Is that right?
Yeah. He said, you got to tell him about the story about the seagull shitting on your head.
Yeah,
So-
we gotta hear that.
We used to vacation there all the time. Not all the time, but every summer we would go down with some friends that had kids about the same age as ours, and it was always nice. We enjoyed it. I never really liked Ocean City, but the kids liked it, and it was, you need to get away, just go there, it's easy.
Yeah.
So went there, we're going down the boardwalk, and I'm pushing a stroller with my daughter Carly in it, and Kelly has Cody next to him. And we're just walking along talking. We're on our way to dinner. We just got showered and all sproused up and looking good and smelling good and walking down the boardwalk. And all of a sudden I feel this. You ever been shit on by a seagull?
No.
They shit a lot. And it was on my head. It was running down my face. And I'm like, what the hell do I do? I got to go back to the room and take another shower. So I give Kelly the stroller, and I'm just running down the boardwalk, and everybody's looking at me going, Jesus Christ. I mean, it was a massive amount of shit. It was almost like somebody poured a bucket of shit on my head.
Shit.
Man. So that's my seagull shit on my head story. And it took a while to get it out, too.
I'll bet you were pissed, weren't you?
Oh, that was shit.
You want to feed them firecrackers.
Another good hair story.
All right.
I may have told this one, I'm not sure. For some reason, Donnie talked me into coloring my hair black. Because he used this stuff we called Scott McGinn. It was just a hair color.
Yeah.
And Donnie would use it to hide his bald spots. And he talked me into dyeing my hair, do a whole can on my hair. It was just black. And because I sweat so much, at the end of the night, it was just, I looked like a coal miner. Mm-hmm. And I went home and had to wash that shit. It took me 3 days to get that shit entirely out of my hair.
Jesus Christ.
That and the first album cover. One more hair story, then I'm done.
All right.
The first album cover is when I think we're down in a manhole in New York City. And I'm like hanging onto this wire, and they said, well, you got to look like you're being electrocuted. So they teased my hair. I mean, teased it all the fuck, and then sprayed it. So I got this wild ass hairdo, and did the shoot, and we shot that as the Generators. It wasn't shot as Kicks.
Oh, that makes sense.
So another get this shit out of my hair, and it took days to get my hair back to normal. I had to cut all these rats out of my hair.
My God.
It was bad. I ain't ever doing that again.
What was the purpose of Donnie wanting you to do that? Just
I don't
a new
remember.
image?
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe it's because of the time that
Billy Idol?
Billy Idol asked us, or they asked if we were available, but the singer would have to dye his hair black. So in order to tell that story, I guess I dyed my hair black as a joke and went out and did the whole night with black hair. I will do anything for a laugh. I didn't give a fuck. I sent you the picture of me in a dress.
You did.
That started at a Mardi Gras party over on South Branch River, and everybody was decked out and looked ridiculous. And
Yeah.
I didn't have anything. So my daughter had this sundress, this green sundress, and she said, "Here, Dad, you can wear this." And I had beads, and Kelly put my hair in ponytails. And I walked around like that all night, and everybody thought, "That's cool, that's fun." So then somehow somebody talked me, or it was a bet, it was a dare. Would you do that on stage? I go, "Yeah, I'd do that." So on Yeah, 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 I come out and I got to take all my clothes off and put this dress on. Kelly's doing my hair while I guess the big long solo and Yeah, Yeah, Yeah is going on.
Yeah.
And I go out, and if you looked up the dress, you're going to see my dick because there's nothing there. And people, "Oh, Steve's dick. Hey, little fella."
That's awesome.
But that was fun.
Yeah.
I think I did it twice. I did it once in Hagerstown at the place we played there, the big hall that we played, and I did it at Ramsey. Hager Hall. Yep. That's all. That's my hair stories, and yeah, that's it.
Cross-dressing stories.
Cross-dressing, yeah. I felt a little gay. I did.
You don't anymore, do you? Okay.
That feeling passed quick.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, not there's anything wrong with that.
I was talking to Brian Forsyth. Your memory on people who have asked you to join their band, this is twice I've had to remind you. I was asking Brian, did anybody try to recruit you? And he told me a couple cool stories, people wanting him. But he said, did Steve tell you about the time Neal Schon wanted him and his band Hardline? I said, no.
I don't remember that.
He said back in the early 80s, Neal Schon from Journey.
Yeah.
Had a band Hardline, and they called you up, wanted you to be their lead singer, and you turned them down, wanted to stick with your Boys in Kicks, or the Generators at the time.
Loyal. I'm loyal.
We were Kicks. Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
Really?
No. Neal Schon.
Yeah.
Nope.
It was before Journey, I guess.
Oh,
right?
really?
Or was it? I don't know when he was the guitar
Journey was
player for
around.
Journey.
Maybe it was just a side project he was doing.
Did he leave for a while? Yeah, I don't know
That's
either.
Brian's story. You got to talk to him about it. I don't know it.
But I looked up Hardwire, and it was a band.
Yeah?
They put out a record in 1990, so I don't know how long they were together before they put out that record. But yeah, he remembers it vividly that they called you.
I'm shocked at Brian's memory because he can remember shit, and he was on drugs,
Yeah.
hard drugs for
Yeah.
a long time. His memory's better than mine, but he's been sober for over 20 years, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I'm sure he sees things way differently than I do. He's got a good memory.
Yeah.
So does Ronnie.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. He does. Ronnie will give me dates. You know,
Yeah.
I have trouble remembering what year something happened.
Me too.
Ronnie will give you the date.
He always texts me on my birthday, happy birthday. He knows everybody's birthday. He's good about that stuff.
Yeah. So when I was talking to Brian about the bands that have asked you, or you have asked, or just the one band you inquired with Motley Crue, he auditioned for the Wallflowers.
Oh yeah.
Did you
I
remember
think
that?
I knew that. I think I remember that.
He made it to the second audition, and they loved him.
Yeah.
But he was told, don't talk about your age.
Because he was older.
Yeah. And apparently Jacob Dylan, that's Bob Dylan's son,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so. Jacob Dylan was talking about some band from the 70s, and Brian was like, oh, yeah, I was there for that. And his buddy that was getting him in the band was like, hey, knock it off, giving him the this. But unfortunately, the guy that played on the record told him, hey, I'm leaving. You're going to have to find another guitarist. Brian was the guy. And then that guy said, well, I'll go out and do the first leg of the tour and see what happens. Well, then the band exploded, and the guy stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good. I like them. They just put out a record not too long ago, maybe a year ago. It's
Did they?
good. Yeah. It's real good.
I'll tell you who I just discovered. I don't know why I just discovered him. Willie Nelson's son. I can't remember his first name. But
Well, he's got to be 60.
yeah. Hell of a guitarist. Like, he's one of the top guitarists around. I can't remember his first name.
I never heard. I didn't know Willie Nelson had a son.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's just a major. He's an amazing musician. He was on the Howard Stern show doing a song. And wasn't there something about Paul Stanley's kid, Gene Simmons' kid, one of the Beatles' kid? They were all going to get together and form a band. Does that sound familiar to you?
If it's gossip or if it's...
No, it was real.
Yeah, I don't pay much attention to that stuff.
I guess they never did it, but they got together to jam. So I can't remember. It was all famous rock stars' kids getting together.
Huh.
Reminded me of when Justin and Carly was out jamming together.
Yeah.
That was good. There's still a video going around of those two doing Wagon Wheel.
Is that right?
At the Institute for the opening day. In fact, our producer recorded that day. Yeah. Yeah. Got anything else you want to talk about before we hit these emails?
Nah, I hit the emails.
All right.
I don't think. Let me look. Sometimes I get my phone's reminding me we're doing a podcast. Well, thank you. Never would have known. Oh, Punta Cana.
That's right. Yeah.
Punta Cana we played in probably 2019. It was right before the big dreaded disease killed the world. And it was around October, November of 2019. And I woke up one day and I didn't have any coffee. I had to go out and find a maid so I could get a coffee. And I found a maid and I go, "Really love it." I'm like, what the fuck was that?
That's not good.
That's what it sounded like. I sounded like Darth Vader. And we had to do a show, and my voice was fried. I mean, it was just gone. And I'm pretty sure, because we all got it. Sam, our drum tech, Joe, our sound guy, everybody got this cold from hell, except Jimmy. Jimmy didn't get it. And it had to be COVID, because I've had colds in my life, but I've never had experienced anything like that, and nobody had heard of COVID yet.
Yeah.
So I was pretty sure that we got COVID once I heard the symptoms of what COVID does to you.
Yeah.
And it took me about a month to get my voice back to the point where I wasn't embarrassed. I didn't cancel any shows. I should have, because I sucked. Everything was Mickey Mouse. Everything I sang was way up here. Don't close your eyes. And I said, that's a Minnie Mouse singing, don't close your eyes. Jimmy got done his drum solo, and I go, Jimmy Chocolate on the drums. That's literally all I had. I just had this Mickey Mouse voice, and I did whole shows like that. And people were laughing, and fuck it, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Leave. Punta Cana.
Holy crap.
That was one of them places where it said, do not go beyond this wall at risk of your own life, because there was gangs and all kinds of shit down there. It was dangerous, but as long as you stayed on the properties, it was beautiful. It was nice.
Tracy and I went to Punta Cana once for vacation.
Yeah?
And we traveled off the resort because I'm a Pepsi freak and they didn't have Pepsi at the resort. So I paid a cab to take us off resort, and there were armed with machine guns guys at the gas stations because you weren't allowed to get gas on certain days.
Oh,
and if you tried, there's armed freaking militia.
I saw a lot of armed militia down there.
Yeah, I would not have gotten out of that cab down there.
No.
I mean, he took us to the store, and I was leery of going in that store. But I did, but right back in the cab and right back to the resort.
Yeah, I remember coming out of the airport, and you had to go through customs. And there had to be 2,000 people in this line waiting. And I know that's where we got the COVID, because we were like cows being herded, like that, and just around all these people. And yeah, got it real good. And then when COVID did come around, we took 18 months off. Not that we wanted to, but everything closed down. And when we finally started going out and playing again, I was urging people to get the COVID shot, because we had to get the shot in order to go back out and play. And at the time, we didn't know COVID shots were harming people. We thought this
Right.
is the answer we've all been hoping for, and everything can get back to normal. And people got mad at me because I was promoting the COVID shot, and totally apologize for that because that was wrong. That was just wrong. We were misled. We were lied to, and yeah, that's all I got.
Well, I mean, it made sense what they were telling us. Get the
You
COVID
got me my shot. I mean,
Yeah.
you tracked down a pharmacist who you knew and said, any way we could get some shots, and yeah, come on in. Because I think you had to be of a certain age before you could get it.
They were
something like
doing
that.
it in waves. It was the seniors first.
Right.
And then the vulnerable. And, I feel bad, but hey,
Well, we were told
we
this shit
slipped
could
in.
kill you. I mean,
Yeah.
the people that are in hospitals are dying. You're thinking,
Right.
what is this shit? For the way to prevent it. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
So we didn't know that healthy people would survive it, and it was killing unhealthy people.
They had me believing you get COVID, you're pretty much going to die.
Right.
There's a better chance you get. So I was petrified. Petrified.
I was too.
When I did get it, it was during Christmas, and the test was positive, and I freaked out a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I was sick. You was checking on me every day when I had it. I got sick, but nowhere near as sick
Yeah.
as I've ever been.
No. It wasn't as bad as they said it was. But
Yeah.
for some people who had comorbidities or underlying conditions,
Yep.
it took them out.
Yeah.
So it was bad, and those people, I hope the shot helped them. But it really wasn't necessary for healthy people.
Right.
And I think I did 3 of them before I finally got the idea of like, this is bullshit. Because I got COVID anyway. They said it'll prevent COVID, you're not going to be able to spread it, and it was all bullshit because I got COVID after getting 2 shots, and I don't know if I spread it around, but Kelly never got it. Don't know
Really?
how that happens, yeah. Jimmy never got it.
Wow.
I know.
No, my doctor called me and said, "Don't get any more." I said, "Really?"
Yeah, my
She
doctor said the
"No,
same thing.
Don't. It's useless. They're putting a dead virus in there. Just don't get any
Yeah.
more."
Well, my doctor said
Well, I need
if
to
you
know.
get it, call the office, we'll get you some Plaques COVID, and that'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So no more shots. I'm in.
Is it even a thing anymore? Are people still getting COVID?
Oh, yeah, they're still pushing
Really?
them. Yep.
New strain right now.
Yeah,
New
that's
strain?
all they do is a new strain, get your COVID shot. And Pfizer and Moderna are just fucking racking it in.
You're damn right they are. Yuck.
I know, it's gross.
It is. Let's do some emails.
Let's do some emails.
Here's one. Hey, Steve and Rick, I see and hear all of what Bret Michaels mimics Steve. I'm not sure if that was worded right. Steve is a teacher. My question is, did Steve give any pointers to Bret Michaels on the harmonica when they were playing together?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
Does he play harmonica?
I think he does on a song or two.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't know.
Also, I love how Steve jams on that harmonica. Have you and Bret Michaels ever played together in any capacity?
No.
No. He called you once and asked you to come down and sing at a show.
It wasn't
or-
him, it was his guitar player.
Yeah. Oh, Pete.
Yeah, Pete
Okay.
called me up and said, hey, Brett would love to have you come down and do a song or two. I forget where it was, and I said, no.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
There was a sports game on.
It's probably.
It was. You told me.
Yeah.
Should have checked with me because I know Steve ain't doing nothing
Yeah.
on the day the Orioles, the Redskins, or the Ravens are playing. That's just a fact. Okay. I should have had these written out, but
You've been busy.
Craig Mulholland from Baltimore, right currently, Don't Close Your Eyes has 24 million views on YouTube. My question is, when you guys came up with the song and recorded it, did you know at the time it would be so popular and become your biggest hit? I know a lot of bands get asked this question, but what was the writing and recording process like with this song?
It was co-written by John Palumbo, who was in a band called Crack the Sky. And I don't know if Bob Halligan was in on that one, but it was Donnie and Palumbo and maybe Bob Halligan who wrote it. And then when we went into the studio to do it, we knew it was a great song, but the record company had no clue. We started with Cold Blood and did a video, which did pretty well, got us on MTV. Then we did Blow My Fuse, and that did pretty well and kept us on MTV. And then that was about it. They were done with it. Record's over. And then that's when we were out with Great White and Tesla. And I can never remember this guy's name.
Alan Nevin.
Alan Niven, thank you. He stopped us coming off stage and asked us, what was that ballad you guys just played? And we told him, Don't Close Your Eyes. He goes, why is that not a hit? Don't ask us, ask the president of Atlantic Records. So he did. And then I said this before, the next week we're up making a video for Don't Close Your Eyes. And yeah, it got us on the Whitesnake tour and took the album to platinum. But if it wasn't for Alan Niven calling up, it never would have happened. So no, we didn't know that it was a hit song.
So no,
Alan Niven knew it.
when you heard the final on the record, the final mix of it, you didn't think, wow, this is special?
No, you don't. With hardly any of them, you don't know if a song is going to be. I mean, you have your favorites. You think, well, these 5 are great and the others are good, but you don't really know until you get out and you start playing them in front of people. That's when you get the live feedback, and that's when you can tell. And Don't Close Your Eyes was always getting over. And I didn't have to do the crab dance anymore.
What's your personal favorite Kick song of all records? The number one, just your personal favorite, not for what it did for you, just...
Man, that's a tough one, Rick.
You enjoy.
That's tough. Because I wasn't able to write much. Donnie just was really good at it and didn't really invite people to write. So I was only able to write a handful of songs. One of my favorites that I did on, it might have been Show Business, with Put My Money Where Your Mouth Is.
That's Show Business.
I like that. I like that song a lot. I was able to write it, and Donnie got involved in the writing. So, in fact, he might have come up with the title. So that one was always fun. And off of the new one, Wheels in Motion. I always like that song. I like performing it, and I never get tired of it. That's my start me up. I never get tired of Start Me Up. I never get tired of Bohemian Rhapsody. I can listen to those songs every day, any day. Yeah.
So Wheels in Motion and Put My Money Where Your Mouth Is would be your 2 favorite Kick songs. Has enough time passed where you can put on a Kick song and enjoy it, or is it still
No, I can't. It comes up on my phone. I'm thinking of deleting it all, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
No, I can't listen to it. Unless it's an old Funny Money song that if I haven't heard it for about 10 years, I'll let that one go.
I just put 3 Funny Money records on my Amazon Music to
Oh, yeah?
play when I'm on the bike or out mowing. Yeah.
There's some good stuff on
There's
it.
some real good songs. Dry Eyes Cry, man, that was a banger. I love that song. And then the one you co-wrote with Terry Miller, The Road to Hell is Paved with False Confessions. What is that?
Dry Eyes Cry.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Same song. Yeah, that's a great song,
That's
man.
a good one. I wrote some good stuff with Rob Galpin, too, and Mark. Mark was a good songwriter. Rob was a great songwriter. Very talented guy. One of the most free-flowing guitar player I ever played with. He just rolled his head back and played, and it just oozed out of him,
Yeah.
Where Ronnie was like stiff, but it was cool. The way he did it, the way he performed is cool.
Yeah.
But total opposites in styles. And Brian, of course, is very smooth. But Rob was just like, he could play Eddie Van Halen, he could play Richie Blackmore, he could play all styles. And he was just great.
Yeah, I had him teach at the Institute on your recommendation. I got to see actually how good he was.
He's very good. And he's a good singer.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a cool guy. He
Very
really
cool
is.
guy. Miss you, Rob.
All right.
Jamie, don't you find this riveting?
Hey, Steve, I live in the Lancaster, PA area and have seen Kicks many times, like the Host Resort and the Chameleon Club. Back in the day, these were the 2 popular places to see you, but why didn't you ever play the Village nightclub? I saw Funny Money there one time before Kicks reunited, but never again. Did something happen that you...
Kicks played there all the time before playing the Chameleon or anything. We played there a lot. Yeah, so he's wrong.
Jim Opplinger from Lancaster, there you go, man. Kicks did play there.
Yeah, we played there a lot. It was a big room. It was always big crowds. It was a good room.
I can't find the email right now, but somebody had written in a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sorry I don't remember your name to give you credit for it, but they wanted to know what the Vinnie's Pizza reference was on all the records. It's a good story.
When we used to practice on Virginia Avenue, we had a band house and we practiced there, and Rocky's Pizza was about a quarter of a mile away. And we would go up there and get pizza. And after going in there many times, we got to know Vinnie and Raymond and everybody. And they would always charge us very little, to come in. And because they wouldn't charge us, we always just gave them a little credit on our records. So Vinnie's Pizza, it was Rocky's Pizza.
Yeah.
But we wanted to give Vinnie the credit because Vinnie's always giving us all the free shit.
Right. Right.
So yeah, every record I think we thank Vinnie's Pizza.
Well, I remember when I was doing a show with you guys. I was putting the show on. Vinnie sent a bunch of pizzas out to you guys and wouldn't take any money
That's
when
Vinnie.
I tried to pay for them.
He's still in business. You do work with him, don't you? Yeah.
Yep. I'd love to hear that story.
Good guy. Great guy.
Yeah,
I miss him. I miss Rocky's. Rocky's all burnt down. There's one left. There's on Potomac Street.
That's always been the best one.
That is
though.
the best one.
I mean, their pizza.
Although when Vinnie was at the one on Virginia Avenue, that was the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I have a question for Steve about Jimmy. My first job was at the 3-minute car wash on Jonathan Street. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I remember too. I remember meeting Jimmy there in 1987 and 1988 when he brought in his fire engine red 1967 Ford Mustang. Do you remember that?
No. That's not Jimmy.
We
Jimmy
chatted
never-
for a second. I told him how much I love the band. My question is, does he still have that sweet-ass car?
I don't even remember that car. I don't think he ever had that car.
Really?
No.
Oh, we're going to have to check with him.
I had
and
a
let
red
everyone know
Toyota
next week.
Celica. It's about the only
Remember
red car
that.
I can remember.
No Mustang.
No, you're full of shit.
It would have been 87, 88.
Can I say that? It's too late. It's out there now. Can't put that genie back in the bottle, can you?
That would have been right between Midnight Dynamite and Blow My Fuse.
No, if you did, I don't remember it.
Well, that's weird. I remember arguing with somebody, a battery guy, said, "Oh yeah, Steve Whitman was in the other day and brought in his
Close enough.
what was the burgundy car you had? You ended up giving to your brother,
That was my Lincoln.
Lincoln."
Yeah.
Said, "Yeah, he brought his Lincoln in." I said, "Steve don't have a Lincoln." I figured I would have known. I mean, I was here. I never realized that was a Lincoln.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, somebody said his name was Steve Whitman, brought in a Lincoln." I said, "Oh, I'll have to check on that." And sure enough, I checked, and he was like, "Yeah, I just gave it to my brother."
Yeah.
Okay, second question is for Rick and Steve both. For the guy that don't want to hear me talk, turn it off, because I'm going to give my opinion, you fucker.
Can you hear that?
If you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only have one album to listen to the rest of your lives, what would
I hate
it be?
these questions.
And Jamie, you are doing a great job keeping these guys in line. Getting props on our
All
show.
right.
That's our man.
They hate you, but they like Jamie.
That's our man. Shit. For me, it's easy. Led Zeppelin 4,
Really?
without a doubt.
Man, that's a tough one. I love too many bands.
Only one.
Yeah. I'd probably say one of the Beatles, like compilations, like 64 to 67, something like that.
Yeah.
It would be a Beatles.
Okay.
I never get tired of the Beatles, as you well know.
Yeah.
How many Beatles songs did I play in the Institute? Yeah.
The whole catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with me for Zeppelin. I mean, to think that those songs were written 50 years
Yeah,
ago
yeah.
and they still stand the test of time with
Yep.
rock. I mean, you put on Misty Mountain Hop, that now.
Yeah.
1,000 years from now, that's still going to be cool.
Yep. Yeah.
And you got to listen to it on 10. Or Black Dog. Black Dog comes
Black
on,
Dog.
you turn it up.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I listen to so many bands, and I love the Beatles. I love the Stones. I love Cheap Trick is another really underrated band that we're going to go see.
Yes,
We're going to see Cheap Trick and Rod Stewart.
that's right.
That'll be fun.
And we're going to smoke a joint at the concert.
Yes, you are. You?
Fucking right I am. Yeah.
I'm not going to take care of you.
No, I'll be fine. I'm going to microdose.
All right. Okay.
No, that'll be cool.
No,
to
too
feel
many
like the
bands to
70s.
name there. A Queen is another. I would miss all those other bands, but
Yeah.
it would definitely be something from the Beatles.
Right on. He says, thanks, fuckers. That was from Marty Lowe. This is from Larry Wisher. Do you know Larry? Used to be a mailman. I think he was your mailman.
I saw him at the Boxcars game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Larry wrote, great shit story in episode 20. Laughed my butt off at that one. Question for Steve. What was it like opening up for Whitesnake at GMU, which I guess is George Mason
University.
And how did they treat Kicks at the show? Larry Wishard.
They treated us very well. We got Rudy Sarzo was the nicest man on earth, and he was playing with them at the time. Steve Vai was playing with them. You get to talk to these giant rock stars, and we feel like fucking little stones in their shoes.
Yeah.
But no, they treated us great. I remember one time right before we were getting ready to go on stage, David Coverdale runs up and says, one of the DJs at MTV, what the hell, Alan, not Alan, used to do Headbangers Ball.
Ricky Rackman
Not Ricky,
and
but
Adam Curry.
Adam Curry. Adam Curry made it a point to tell you say hi.
Wow.
So that was cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Other than that, and that's when Tawny Katane was out with them, and they had like directors' chairs up on stage, one for Tawny, one for David.
Yeah.
It was like, that shit's creepy.
She was wild.
Yeah.
I met her once. Definitely wild. She was out of it.
She was drop dead gorgeous when she was younger.
She was.
What was the movie with Tom Hanks she did?
Bachelor Party.
Bachelor Party. Great.
It was weird when I saw her. She had an assistant with her. Guy must have been early 20s. And whenever anybody would approach her, he would jump in front of her and say, $10 for a picture. It was a little cringe. It was really weird, but I guess that was her way of making money there at the end.
Well, wasn't she at M3 one year, kind of co-hosting?
That's the year I saw her with Bobby Brown.
Okay.
And I went up to get a picture, and it was backstage, so he didn't ask me, but everyone else out in the crowd.
Huh.
Yeah. All right, so we said we were going to make this a short one. It's actually one of our longest.
You got shit to do, and you're due to shit.
We're at 43 minutes right now,
Really?
I believe. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
Oh.
Take us out.
That's all I got for now.
Wait. We didn't talk about Simple Pleasures.
Oh, you got to talk about it.
We got to talk about Simple Pleasures. Yeah. Simple Pleasures. I just left there. We'll have a little bit of information they want us to talk about next week on the show. It's a little under wraps right now, but I was just in, again, busy as hell.
Good.
Big bags of bud laying around where they're doing inventory. It's like it's just a pothead's dream to walk into that place.
Wild. It is.
They have everything you want. And like you said, we're going to be getting some joints from Hunter for the Rod Stewart show.
Yeah.
I want to try that sour diesel that we talked about last week.
What's that?
It's just a strain of marijuana that everybody is just have gone nuts about. It's like really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
So I figured we'll get one of them, one of the sour diesel,
right.
and one of the other kind, and see how rocked I can get for this show.
Just don't freak out on us.
I'll be relaxed.
Right.
I mean, Rod Stewart on stage is 1978 all over again.
I've never seen Rod. Brian went to see him about a year or two ago and said he was great. So it's like this is probably the last chance you'll ever get to see him. I'm in.
Yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun. So
and I'm lucky enough to know Brad Canfield, who runs Merriweather. So he hooked us up.
How good are our seats?
They're good seats.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah, thank you, Brad.
Yeah.
And Sullivan. I go through Sullivan to go through Brad. Thank you, Sullivan.
Thank you, Sullivan. All right, cool. Now we're done. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.